أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذ قتلتم نفسا فادارأتم فيها والله مخرج ما كنتم تكتمون فقلنا اضربوه ببعضها كذلك يحيي الله الموتى ويريكم آياته لعلكم تعقلون ثم قست قلوبكم من بعد ذلك فهي كالحجارة أو أشد قسوة وإن من الحجارة لما يتفجر منه الأنهار وإن منها لما يشقق فيخرج منه الماء وإن منها لما يحبط من خشية الله وما الله بغافل عما تعملون أفتطمعون أن يؤمنوا لكم وقد كان فريق منهم يسمعون كلام الله ثم يحرفونه من بعد ما عقلوه وهم يعلمون.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Munibah Khan and you're watching Duroos-Ul-Qur'an. Inshallah, today we'll discuss lesson number 10, Surah Al-Baqarah, Ruku number 9. Expecting Iman from obstinate people is futile. And remember, when you Israelites killed a man and disputed as who the killer was, but Allah exposed what you were concealing. So we said, strike him, the dead man, with a piece of it, the cow. This is how Allah brings the dead to life and shows you His signs so that you may understand. When even after that, your hearts were hardened, as if they were like rocks or even harder. For surely among the rocks there are some from which rivers gush forth, and there are others which split open and water flows from them. And indeed, there are others which fall down in fear of Allah, and Allah is not unaware of what you do. Do you, O believers, hope that they would respond to your call to believe, while a party of them used to hear the word of Allah, then distort it knowingly after understanding it? These are the first 4 verses of the 9th Ruku of Surah Al-Baqarah that are recited and the translation is presented. Let's reflect on the hidden lessons within them. Among the afflictions that occurred among Bani Israel, some of them are as follows. They used to commit sins themselves and put the blame on others. Their hearts had become as hard as stone. The fear of God and the thought of the hereafter were utterly absent in them. They used to listen to the words of Allah and understand them. Still, they began to distort both the text and meanings. Allah Almighty has also given some instructions here along with mentioning these diseases. First, the sins, faults and crimes people hide. Allah will reveal them one day, so they should repent. Second, water streams burst forth from stones. Stones split open and water gushes out. Stones tremble with fear of Allah. Yet, how can you be so hard like stones, not fearing the consequences of your deeds and actions, even though Allah is not unaware of your actions? Third, distorting the words of Allah is not a trivial offense. Even the criminals knew this fact, so they could not escape its consequences. Even now, if anyone commits distortions in text and meanings, they will not be able to escape Allah's punishment. Fourth, by striking the murdered person with a piece of slaughtered cow, Allah revived the murdered person for a short while. He disclosed the name of his killer, which led to the discovery of the criminal and resulted in several lessons. The lessons are as follows. A. A cow cannot be a deity, as its slaughter did not shake the earth, nor did the heavens split and fall to the ground. B. Rather, it led to the identification of a criminal. C. Allah provided people with evidence of His power to resurrect the dead. D. In this way, Allah Almighty has shown His existence, attributes, and the signs of His oneness. E. He also affirmed the truthfulness of His Prophet Musa alayhi salam. F. He also displayed the signs of the hereafter. Allah Almighty presents the verses and signs of His book for contemplation, reflection, understanding, and thinking. Arabic recitation. وَإِذَا لَقُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا till هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. And when they meet the believers, they say, "We believe." But when they meet one another in private, they say, "Do you tell them what Allah had disclosed to you about Muhammad, so that they may thereby argue against you before your Lord? Have you then no sense? Do they not know that Allah knows what they conceal and what they reveal?" And among them there are illiterate people who know nothing of the book except wishful thinking, and they do nothing but guesswork. So woe to those who write the book with their own hands and then say, "This is from Allah," in order to trade it for a small price. Woe to them for what their hands have written, and woe to them for what they earn. And they say, "The fire will never touch us except for a few days." Say, have you taken a pledge from Allah? For Allah will never break His covenant. Or are you saying what you do not know about Allah? Why not? Those who commit evil and are surrounded by their sins, they are the people of the fire. They will abide therein forever. But those who believe and do righteous deeds, they are the people of paradise. They will abide therein forever. These are the remaining 7 verses of 9th Ruku of Surah Al-Baqarah that are recited, and their translation is presented. In these verses, it is clarified that the people of Israel were afflicted with the disease that their faith had become not only weak and feeble, but had also developed flaws. They had been deprived of true faith in the attributes of Allah, and their unwavering faith in Allah's knowledge of the unseen had also diminished. Their second affliction lay in their tendency to use the Book of Allah not for adhering to its instructions, fulfilling their obligations, upholding the tenets of faith, and embracing their responsibilities. Rather, they had begun to regard the Book of Allah as a tool to gratify their own desires and wishes. They had become accustomed to evading their duties and responsibilities, remaining captive to desires. The third disorder of their scholars and elders was that they would fabricate writings and documents, molding them to their liking to establish their dominance and manipulate their followers. They would assert that these writings were Allah's commands and instructions, all while serving their personal ambitions and power-hungry agenda. Their fourth ailment was the inclusion in their beliefs and faiths that the fire of hell could never touch them. Yes, if they were to enter, it would only be for a short period, be it for a few days or 10 days, after which eternal bliss and comfort were predestined for them because they were Allah's favored and His children. Alongside describing these ailments, Allah Almighty has also provided some guidance. Inshallah, these points of guidance we will be looking forward to in our next video. Stay tuned. Jazakallah khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.